Hi, Palettes, Pouts, Perfumes and Panning, and I'm here tonight to talk about two of the most disappointing highlighters that I ever purchased. One is a budget-friendly highlighter and the other is what would be considered high-end. So, if you'd like to find out what they are, stay tuned and I will tell you. So the first one is by Wet n Wild and it's from their Geometric Highlight and it's called Desert Explorations, and it's this one, and the packaging is pretty basic, which I don't really mind if the powder or the product is good, but in this case it wasn't. And you could swatch and swatch and swatch, and it just does not show up. Whether you wear a lot of foundation under it, very little foundation, powder foundation, cake foundation, CC creams, BB creams, it doesn't matter what you use under it, it just does not show up. It is the biggest disaster, absolutely, that I ever purchased. So that's the first one by Wet n Wild, and I even tried scraping it at one point just to see was there some kind of film on top of it that maybe if you got underneath it with your nail that you could get more payback, but no, nothing. So that was that one. And the second one was by NARS, and this one I was expecting fabulous things from because it was a limited edition. It was from their Andy Warhol collection, and this one is called The Satellite of Love, and I was just expecting a really fabulous highlight with the limited edition and with it being the Andy Warhol collection, but no, that didn't happen either. So that's that. Now I'm quite pale, and with this one, yet again, I've used it wet, I've used it dry, I've used it over every kind of product imaginable and nothing. So that is the high-end disappointing highlight that I have. It's by NARS. It's the Andy Warhol limited edition Satellite of Love, which is equally as disappointing as the Wet n Wild highlight. So those are two disappointing ones. I will come back with two that were quite nice highlighters, not the best highlighters, but I certainly wouldn't go so far as to say they were disappointing. So if you'd like to see those two, you can keep watching. Thank you. So the two highlights that I haven't been disappointed with, but I wouldn't go so far as to say they're my favourite highlights. I would go so far as to say I haven't found a highlight that I absolutely love yet. I am still looking, and I look forward to the day I find one that does exactly what I want it to do, that gives a highlight, that looks damp, that has a glow. But as yet that hasn't happened. But these two are, I'd call them mid highlights. those were beyond disappointing, and these two are reasonably okay. The first one I got in a set at Christmas, and it was Millie Mackintosh, and it was this one here, the lighter, and it is it's a cream. Is it there? That one, it came as part of the gift set, and I was pleasantly surprised with what a good highlighter it was. And then the other one is the Holographic by Kat Von D, and this is four highlights. One is more green, one is more purple, one is more blue, and one is more and they show up straight away too. So those are the two that were absolutely disastrous, regardless of price. The Wet n Wild one wasn't massively expensive, but still a disastrous product, regardless of how expensive or inexpensive it was. It was a waste of money. The Satellite of Love, the limited edition, Andy Warhol. I would have been expected an awful lot more from NARS on their highlight, let alone a limited edition Andy Warhol highlight. Disastrous, awful product. And these two, the Millie Mackintosh, the lighter shade, not too bad, and the Kat Von D, not too bad, but with them having different colours, greens, blues, purples, and the champagne, what I have to do is I have to combine them all together to make a slight highlight, because I wouldn't use one of them on their own. But not a bad product as regards a highlighter. So I am on the search for a really good highlight, and as yet I haven't found it, but I will keep looking and see, do I eventually find one that I'm happy with. So if you've enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you like my content, consider subscribing. I do reviews on products. I talk about failed products, disappointing products, discontinued products, and thank you for watching. Thank you.